Hello friends, welcome to Daring Marana YouTube channel. Today we will be discussing about centrifugal pump, their basic components, functions and working. We will be discussing about centrifugal pump, their components, function and working. So let's discuss in detail. We know that some of the most common components found in centrifugal pumps are their weir ring, stuffing box, packing, lender rings. Some of the most common components found in a centrifugal pump are their weir ring, stuffing box, packing and lender ring. Okay. Here in the picture we can see the picture of a centrifugal pump. We can see that pump shaft is there on the centrally, then stuffing box will be there, towards stuffing box there will be packings and landering is there, then there will be stuffing box gland, and for this the centrifugal pump is there will be volute casing and impeller is provided near it, and there will be pump casing towards the outer surface. There will be, we can see inlet and outlet, when you can see, then impeller weir ring is there and pump casing, weir ring and volute casing is there. So let's discuss about each of the components in topic. Construction parts. Impeller means, it is a wheel or a rotor which is provided with a series of backward curved blades or vanes. Impeller means it is a wheel or a rotor which is provided with series of backward curved blades or vanes. It is mounted on a shaft which is coupled to a motor in which impart liquid energy to impeller, thereby making it rotate. Okay. Impeller, it is a wheel or rotor which is provided with a series of backward curved blades or vanes. It is mounted on a shaft which is coupled to a motor which impart liquid energy to impeller, thereby making it rotate. Then casing or volute. The casing contains liquid and acts as a pressure containment vessel. The casing contains a liquid and acts as a pressure containment vessel that direct flow of liquid in and out of centrifugal pump. The casing or volute means the casing contains liquid and acts as a pressure containment vessel that will direct flow of liquid in and out of centrifugal pump. The volute casing is a curved funnel that increases in area as it approaches discharge point. The volute casing is a curved funnel, so that increases the area as it approaches discharge point. Impeller means it is a wheel or rotor which is provided with series of backward curved blades or vanes. It is mounted on shaft and which is coupled to a motor which impart liquid energy to impeller, thereby making it rotate. Casing or volute means casing contains liquid and acts as a pressure containment vessel that directs flow of liquid in and out of centrifugal pump. The volute of curved funnel that increases in area as it approaches the discharge port. Okay. Then weir ring means these are replaceable rings that are attached to impeller or a pump casing to allow a small running clearance between impeller and pump casing, the impeller and pump. Okay, pump casing material means weir rings. These are replaceable rings. We can replace it that are attached to impeller or pump casing to allow small running clearance between impeller and pump casing without causing wear of actual impeller or pump casing arrangement. Okay, weir rings are replaceable ring that are attached to impeller or pump casing, allow a small running clearance between impeller and pump casing without causing a wear of actual impeller or pump casing material. Centrifugal pump, it contains rotating impeller with a stationary pump casing. The centrifugal pump contains a rotating impeller with a stationary pump casing. To allow impeller to rotate freely within a pump casing, a small clearance is designed to be maintained between impeller and pump casing. Okay, to allow impeller to rotate freely in a pump casing, small clearance is to be maintained between impeller and pump casing. Okay, weir rings means weir rings are replaceable ring that are attached to impeller and pump casing to allow a small running clearance between impeller and pump casing without causing wear of actual impeller or pump casing material. Centrifugal pumps contain certain rotating impeller with a stationary pump casing. To allow the impeller to rotate freely within the pump casing, a small clearance is designed to be maintained between impeller and the pump casing. Then centrifugal pumps may contain impeller. Okay, to maximize the efficiency of a centrifugal pump, to allow the impeller to rotate freely within a pump casing, a small casing machine. Okay, to maximize the efficiency of a centrifugal pump, it is necessary to minimize the amount of liquid leaking through this clearance. To maximize the efficiency of centrifugal pump, it is necessary to minimize the amount of liquid leaking through this clearance from high pressure or discharge side of pump back to low pressure or suction side. To maximize the efficiency of a centrifugal pump, it is necessary to minimize the amount of liquid leaking through this centrifugal, this small clearance. So from high pressure or discharge side of pump back to lower side pressure or suction side. Okay. Then weir rings are designed to be replaced periodically during the life of pump and prevent more costly replacement of the impeller or the casing. Okay. During the lifetime, weir rings are designed to be replaced periodically during the life of pump and prevent more costly replacement of impeller or casing. Okay. Here they are mentioned means the centrifugal pump contains rotating impeller with a stationary pump casing. To allow impeller to rotate freely within the casing, small clearance is designed to be maintained between impeller and pump casing. Then to maximize the efficiency of centrifugal pump, it is necessary to minimize the amount of liquid leaking through this clearance, and this clearance from high pressure or discharge side of the pump back to low pressure or suction side. And bearings are designed to be replaced periodically during life of pump and prevent more costly replacement of impeller casing. Then stuffing box means it is one of the simplest type of shaft seal in stuffing box. It is the one of the simplest type of shaft seal. Stuffing box is a cylindrical shape in pump casing surrounding the shaft. It is a cylindrical shape in pump casing surrounding the shaft. That greater the rings, more rings of packing material are placed in this space. The greater rings of packing material are placed in this space. Packing is material in the form of rings or strands that is placed in the stuffing box to form a seal. Here the packing is a material in the form of rings or strands that is placed in the stuffing box that will form a seal to control the rate of leakage along the shaft. The packing rings are held in a place by a gland, and the packing rings are held in a place by a gland. Stuffing box are normally designed to allow small amount of controlled leakage. Stuffing box are normally designed to allow small amount of controlled leakage along shaft to provide lubrication and cooling to packing. Okay. Stuffing box are normally designed to allow small amount of controlled leakage along a shaft to provide lubrication and cooling to packing. Leakage rate can be adjusted by tightening and loosening packing gland. Leakage rate can be adjusted by tightening and loosening packing gland. Okay. Stuffing box is one of the simplest type of shaft seal is the stuffing box. Stuffing box is a cylindrical shape in pump casing and it will surround the shaft. More the rings of packing material are placed in this space, this stuffing box space, and this packing in the material is in the form of a ring or strands that is placed in the stuffing box to form a seal to control the rate of leakage along the shaft. The packing rings are held in a place by a gland. Stuffing box are normally designed to allow small amount of controlled leakage along the shaft to provide lubrication and cooling to packing. Leakage rate can be adjusted by tightening and loosening packing gland. Okay. Here lantern ring. Lantern ring means it is a perforated hollow ring located near the center of packing box that receives relatively cool clean liquid from either discharge of pump or from external source and distributes liquid uniformly around the shaft to provide lubrication and cooling. The fluid entering lantern ring can cool shaft and packing. Okay. Lantern ring means it is a perforated hollow ring. Located near the center of packing box. That receives relatively cool and clean liquid. From either discharge of pump or from external source. Liquid uniformly distributes around the shaft to provide lubrication. This liquid uniformly distribute around shaft to provide lubrication. This provide lubrication and cooling. Fluid entering lantern ring can cool shaft and packing. Okay. Mechanical seal means if packing material is not adequate for sealing. Shaft, mechanical seals are used as an alternative method for sealing. The shaft. Mechanical seal consists of two basic parts. A rotating element attached to pump shaft and a stationary element attached to pump casing. Two elements will be there: rotating element attached to pump shaft and a stationary element attached to pump casing. Each of these elements has highly polished sealing surface. So each of these elements will have, these two parts will have highly polished sealing surface. Polished face of rotating and stationary elements come into contact with each other. This polished face of rotating and stationary element come into contact with each other to form seal. Thus prevent leakage along shaft. Mechanical seal means if the packing material is not adequate for sealing shaft, mechanical seal are used as an alternative method for sealing the shaft. Mechanical seal consists of two basic parts: rotating element attached to pump shaft and a stationary element attached to pump casing. Each of these elements have high polished sealing surface. Polished face of the rotating and stationary elements come into contact with each other to form a seal that prevents leakage along the shaft. Okay. What are the working means? The rotatory motion of the impeller drives the fluid to the outside. That is what happened. So you can answer the questions like: fluid flows from area of high pressure to the area of low pressure. Pump operates by creating low pressure at the inlet, which allows the liquid to be pushed into the pump by atmospheric or head pressure. Working means rotary motion of the impeller drives the fluid to the outside of pump, and fluid flows from area of high pressure to the area of low pressure. Thereby, pump operates by creating low pressure at the inlet, which allows liquid to be pushed into pump by atmospheric or head pressure. Here the working means Rotary motion of the impeller drives fluid outside. Rotary motion of the impeller will drive fluid outside of the pump. Fluid flows from area of high pressure to the area of low pressure pump. Then this will operate by creating low pressure at inlet and which allow liquid to be pushed into pump by atmospheric or head pressure. Thank you.